And welcome, everyone. It is Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. We're in June, and the Cup Finals haven't even begun yet, and I love to see it because that means we still have a lot more hockey. This is Full Press Hockey Weekly here on youtube.com/Full Press Coverage, twitch.tv/Full Press Coverage, Twitter and Facebook/Full Press NHL, and the Full Press Radio Network. You can listen to us on demand anytime on your favorite podcasting apps, including Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. Really helps a lot. Mike Straw, Chris Wassel, Jim Behringer, and guys, we have nothing to talk about today. It's going to be the shortest show ever. Good night. Have a good one.
All right, get to the game early. I like that.
If only it was that easy.
Next question.
Next question, please.
If only it was that easy. On today's show, the Colorado Avalanche move on because they own the league and everyone else in it. The Rangers and Lightning, who will join them? That series got interesting. The Bruins make a really, really stupid decision. And whatever else we have to talk about. Again, it's Full Press Hockey Weekly. Guys, before we talk about Colorado and preview the rest of the Rangers Tampa series, let's talk about the Boston Bruins. I'm opening the show because when that news came across literally 24 hours ago, I had no idea what the hell they were doing, why they were doing it, and 24 hours later, still have no idea what the hell they're doing and why the hell they're doing it. If you don't know, the Boston Bruins fired head coach Bruce Cassidy. And I'm just going to... Guys, one of you make it make sense.
It doesn't make sense, okay? Listening to a lot of the talk out of Boston today, reading what people were saying that were there on the Zoom or during Sweeney's press conference, it seems like Bruce Cassidy was made to be the scapegoat for the Boston Bruins this year. And it's not fair to him because, let's be honest, he did a really good job with this team this year. Of course, there were reports that players had issues with him that come out.
Players have issues. There's not a single team where a player does not have an issue with
coach at some
point. Not a single team. And they only seem to come out after the team fires a coach.
Right, exactly. It never happens during the year. But that stuff seemed to be refuted. But the big thing to me is I think this is a referendum on Cam Neely and Don Sweeney because they have not given Bruce Cassidy the tools outside of the top 6 to make this team a viable playoff team after 2019. I think they were able to get to the Stanley Cup Final with one line, and it ended up seeing that their depth scoring couldn't carry them past the finish line. And now they say they need a new voice and they want to get younger, rebuild, retool, but he still wants to be competitive. To me, it sounds like Sweeney's grasping for water and grasping for air. And
you can't retool, rebuild, and be competitive. That's not how a retool and rebuild works.
No, it doesn't. No.
Chris, what?
It's crazy.
I don't know. I'm literally like at a loss for words. I saw it. I mean, I have my one thought. That first thought came to my mind. But Chris, yeah, what do you got?
I mean, look, cats and dogs are living in mass hysteria. I mean, you have that. There was a little repeated quote in the Sweeney press conference where he basically said in so many words, we only have room for tough guys. That was kind of like, very. So that was kind of a shot at David Krejci in so many words. Krejci is not coming back to Boston. There's no way. Obviously, with the news of, what feels like half the team won't be playing in October. The added decision of Bergeron, which all signs seem to be pointing to, he's retiring. I mean, barring something
as he should.
I mean, I don't blame him. What else does he have to prove? Nothing. I mean, where is he? Where is he going to go in his late 30s? I mean, he has his faculties, which the first part of his career, we kind of were wondering a little bit, what would happen with all the concussions, and he's in a good place right now. I wouldn't risk it if this team really is rebuilding or retooling or refreshing or whatever bad Subway reference you want to use here.
Hey, that's what I had for dinner.
I mean, but you think about it, and you kept hearing Sweeney reference 2015. Well, that was his first year as general manager, and he missed with 3 first-round draft picks in a row. He missed on every one of them.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
They went from Chiarelli to Sweeney, and it was a mess.
I still remember this because we did the the Vegas draft double, and got there a little bit. Well, got there like about an hour before the draft started. I don't know, was getting engaged, bunch of drinking, yeah. But as the draft was starting, there were rumblings that Boston was going to go off script. Like even before, this was way before this actually happened, and I said to somebody, I said they got to take Barzal at 15 after that trade, at the very worst. And when he wasn't picked at either 13, 14, or 15, I had Timmy Rosenthal with me because he did the double with me from Vegas.
Like, how do you have 3 straight picks like that? And the only one you get is DeBrusque, who doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah, we both looked at each other, and Russ Cohn was on the other side of the room, and I kind of messaged him, and I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Boston's screwed in about 5-6 years."
And here we are.
And here we are. I mean, look,
and here we are.
And what bothers me is you're picking this year. A year where you guys, any other year, Boston is fighting for a division with the record they had.
Right.
This year in the East was the most top-heavy Eastern Conference, top-heavy conference we've ever seen, with every team in a single conference made the playoffs with over 100 points. First time ever. Like, it was such a top-heavy conference where any other year Boston is likely fighting for a division. And then no one, I mean, they get knocked out, but no one...
They went to Game 7. Bad.
Yeah. They lost to a team that everybody expected to be a cup contender. Like, no one in Game 7. And, okay, if one of those teams wins a road game, they win the – if Boston wins one road game, they win the series. But,
yeah,
I mean, that's just how Carolina this year was absurd. 14 games, 14 home team wins. Like, the easiest bet the home team stretch ever.
Actually, wasn't it?
Oh no, they lost Game 7.
They lost their last
Game 7.
They
remember
the
nerves set in and they cracked.
They cracked bad. They did crack bad. But you think about it. Look what Cassidy did this year. I mean, considering with that team, COVID went through the team. No Rask. You had Olmark and Swayman.
And they both at times looked. I mean, I still think Olmark and Swayman could be like a nice great 1-2 punch. I feel bad for a guy like, and we'll talk all offseason about the Bruins, I guarantee. I feel bad for a guy like Linus Olmark, left Buffalo after being part of a rebuild for God knows how long, gets one solid year in Boston and is going to be a part of a rebuild again. And the thing is, he left and he had nothing but good things to say. Like, they helped him when his father died, and he was able to go back there and cope. Like, nothing but great things to say, Olmark, about his time. And now he gets this shaft again. And the Bruins, I mean, you pick a year, no first round pick, currently sit with just $2 million in cap space.
Pending overages.
You got, and that's after names like Bergeron's off the books, because they have one more year of Pasternak, and if this is what's going to happen, they have half a year with Pasternak at most, because he's gone. If this is what's going to happen, he's gone. He is.
Yeah, let it begin already.
He's
Let it
going.
begin already.
And the thing is, we'll talk all season about where Pasternak ends up. He's out. I think he goes out west. I still have LA. Like, for some reason, I think Pasternak and the Kings, and I'm just going to keep that in my head because that's just the one team I think he ends up with. But
think about it. He's 26 years old.
Oh,
yeah.
He's
Getting
26
right before
years
his biggest
old.
contract, and he's one of the best goal scorers in the game. And
guess what this is?
How do you announce a rebuild or something like this when you don't have him locked up first?
Right, exactly. You don't have him locked up first. You don't have a second line center. You don't have a top
first round pick. You don't have cap space to make anything. You have to deal because you have Marchand for 6-1 for 3 more years. You got Taylor Hall in that stupid contract for 3 more years with a no movement clause. You have Charlie Coyle at 5'2", who I still think that's a good value for Charlie Coyle, but I'm a big Charlie Coyle homer and love the way he plays the game. But you got DeBrusk for 2 more years at $4 million. He's gone. Like, he's the one guy gone. You have another year of Nick Foligno at 3. Like, you're going to have to move these. Like, what are you going to do with Eric Holla at 31? No, who's going to take these? I mean, we all know with 1 year left and they're in their 30s, he's probably going to go to Arizona. But yeah, Charlie McAvoy at 9.5. Okay. Hampus Lindholm, he just signed.
He just got a new deal.
He just signed an 8-year deal.
And now this.
He didn't want to be a part of it in Anaheim.
No, that's why he wanted out.
Yep.
But
how?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing for me with Cassidy this year, right? So you mentioned Pasternak. What did he do to make this team so successful the second half of the season? He moved him down. He put DeBrusk up, and your balanced scoring was there finally. And they had a good
He's
defense.
a coach, and I say this way too much to where it sounds like it's some cliche bullshit line. He's another coach that knows how to put people when things aren't working. He'll juggle a lineup to put people where they fit to see if it works. He won't just say, well, he's the top player. He's got to be on the top line. That's not how it works with him.
And he won't just stick a guy there just for the sake of sticking him there. I mean, there's usually some sort of forethought in it.
Did he not make certain adjustments in the playoffs? Yeah, but you know what? You got to Game 7 and you lost by a goal.
Against a team that was expected to win.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's not like the roles were reversed and you got upset.
But a lot of people have said Boston could upset Carolina in the first round. They
had a shot.
And they had a shot. I think if Swayman starts the series, I think the Boston Bruins win.
Yeah, it was just one of those weird things where there was a vibe a little bit with Swayman and a bit of a swagger that, playoff wise he had.
So in defense of Cassidy's decision, the way the goalies were played down the stretch, I probably would have did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
I just think after the first game where Omar didn't look good, I think I would have made the change. I would have made the change in Game 2.
But I get you don't want to. First playoff experience, you don't want to completely shatter faith in a guy after one bad outing.
Right, I understand that, and Swayman is better at home than he was on the road, but still, I think if you had made the change or tried to get something going, I think maybe the Bruins would have. But again, you went to Game 7 and you lost by a goal, so semantics there. But again, another good coach is on the market for a team out there because he is a good coach. Yes, maybe his message sometimes, we say this all the time. It doesn't matter. Not all coaches are players' coaches. You're not going to get along with everybody.
Yeah.
But he's took a team to a Stanley Cup Final.
And to be fair, that team wasn't the best team on the East, and they just got hot.
Right, exactly. Again, it's a referendum.
And he got him to a Game 7.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Game 7. But to me, it's the referendum on the general manager and the president.
Cam Neely has done a trash job. I get Bruins. No, I don't care. That's why I hate legends and because people look at him. Fans of that team will look at him with rose-colored glasses, no matter what, because he's a legend. And no, he deserves as much of the blame through this whole mess and what's bound to happen.
I mean, he got a lot of tough questions today at that presser, and that he was not prepared for.
What do you expect? Obviously, you guys know, but what do you think he thought?
Okay, here is the most evil and diabolical part in all this? You know what yesterday was in the life of Cam Neely?
It was June 6th, 2022 in his life.
Yes. But 36 years to the day was the day that changed his life and made him become an eventual Boston legend because he was traded from Vancouver to Boston for Barry Peterson.
Yeah, he should be traded back.
And some Glenn Wesley guy.
He should be traded back.
Oh, by the way. But, yeah, I mean, it was just like a weird coincidence. And it's one of those things where it's like, here's a guy, Boston legend, Claude Lemieux's still his daddy.
Here's a guy that can't really make good decisions. Boom!
And he never could. This is the part in all of this that has to be the most infuriating. Never mind for the media who's still scratching their heads as we speak. But for every single Boston fan out there who's plunked their hard nickel through God knows what, you went through the finals, you went through COVID, you had a team that was starting to look pretty good this year before, all these injuries started to crop up. And yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty for next year, but you don't do this now. I mean, now look, there's talk Pasternak maybe trade it as soon as the draft.
Well, let's walk that back.
Let's
walk that back a little bit. Though.
Yeah. Well,
the draft.
I know that's not going to happen.
1 month from today.
But the fact that
1 month
people are rage quitting already like this in the rumor mills is scary.
If I am Pasternak though, if I'm Hampus Lindholm, if I'm Charlie McAvoy, the three of them march into their offices and demand what the hell is going on. Right. Especially Pasternak, because he can flat out say, I'm not like he holds all the chips. The other two are on long-term deals. They're shit out of luck. Pasternak can just say,
it's contract year.
I'm in a contract year. I'm getting my next deal is going to be the most I'll make in my career because I'm in the early stages of my prime. I'm playing better than I ever have. I am a cornerstone player. Like, you tell me what's going on because I can't see him signing. Maybe he will. It's hard. You can't really go into the motivations of why a player does things, obviously.
Not anymore.
How can, knowing that you're finding this out now, a coach who put you in situations to succeed, you flourished under, is gone, and you are coming up on the biggest decision of your career. The biggest.
And he holds the cards about this trade because I was like, everybody's like, oh, Pasternak could get traded this summer. I'm like, do you guys realize he has a 10-team no trade list?
And that moves everything. And the thing is, it's like, it's one of those things of Taylor Hall forced his way to Boston, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically from Buffalo. He forced his way. We'll get to Braden's question in a minute.
Yeah,
I have a thought on that.
That's going to get fun.
Taylor Hall forced his way to Boston and out of Buffalo. Despite saying he wanted to do what's best for the Sabres, everybody knew he wanted to go to one team if he got traded, and it was Boston, and the Sabres got screwed on that trade. But now you're looking, if you're going to rebuild, you're not going to keep a Taylor Hall, but I guarantee you he's not going to say you could trade me. I got 3 more years, baby. I'm not going nowhere. Boston screwed themselves here, and
Boston screwed themselves, as Chris said, going back to 2015 at the draft. We talked about it numerous times.
The three picks after Senyshyn, okay? Barzell, Kyle Connor, Thomas Chabot. Sorry, excuse me. 3 All-Stars. It bothers me. 3 All-Star players.
And then if you go even further than that, Joel Eriksson, Colin White, Ilya Samsonov, Brock Besser, Travis Konechny, Jack Roslovic, Anthony Beauvillier. I mean,
there's some pretty good players that went past guys that.
Oh, there's also this player. Granted, every team passed him in the first round. He's just become a staple of one of the best players on the Carolina Hurricanes. Sebastian.
Yeah.
Oops.
But to be fair, I mean, I remember I did a mock draft for Fansided back then. Like, I didn't even have him in the first round that year. I
remember
think he was
this.
Going to be what he was. I did not at all. Like, I thought, okay, he'll be like a top 9 forward, but that's it. I didn't think he'd become one of their best players and just this. Like, he has surpassed all expectations, no matter how high you were on the guy. So that I understand. But the three right after Boston's trio of dismay. Man.
Yeah. People knew about Connor. It wasn't like
he wasn't a surprise.
Yeah, I think he was part of that CCM line at Michigan. So I mean, he was tearing it up.
Yeah. So
and everybody knew Shabbat. Everybody was talking about Shabbat going into the draft as a highly rated defenseman. So I mean, they had options, and even a bigger option that a lot of people thought they were going to do was trade one of those picks to get an asset, but they didn't. So look, they made their bed with it, and now they got to lie in it. And again, is Pasternak going to get traded? If it happens, it happens at the draft. I think the Bruins will try to do their best to sign him. But I think the reports that came out that
if he gets traded, they're not gonna give themselves a month.
No,
he's a deadline deal.
Right, exactly. Because there were a lot of reports today that said, Bruins are gonna trade him this summer. That wasn't what a certain writer said, and what that writer said on air. It's not.
Right.
He was asked a certain question, and it was a leading question to the point where all signals pointed to that. And he basically said, if I'm Pasternak, would I sign here? Why would I sign here with all this stuff going on? Like, it wasn't that it was said that they were trading him this summer. And plus, the fact of the matter is, like I said before, what nobody brought up is the modified no trade, no move clause. He has a 10-team no trade list. I mean, you know what teams are going to be on it. All the Canadian teams, New Jersey, Arizona. I mean, there's half. That's most of the list right there, and probably Buffalo. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah. I mean,
it.
Though Buffalo is in a position, to be fair, they're not looking. They're not looking to make a giant splash in the forward position. They're happy with their depth. They're happy with Krebs and Quinn coming up. Like, they're looking on the right side of the defense or the left side. They're looking at defense because they can play. Like the Sabres, we'll talk about. We're going to do offseason previews of every team. Before we move on to the teams still playing, because those teams are more important.
Nice eye itch there, buddy.
Yeah, dude, I got something allergies, man. It's been brutal the last 4 days. Like, it's literally, I go outside and the lawns are covered in white.
Yep.
Braden brings a good question. What are the odds that Cassidy gets hired elsewhere? Immediately, when I saw this break yesterday, I get they were trying to put on the full court press for Barry Trotz. If I'm Vegas, I'm picking up the phone, and that's my coach. I don't care. I cancel everyone out. Bruce Cassidy is my coach from Vegas because he's that good. He's 100 times better replacement than the crap they just got rid of. He will treat the players the way they need to be treated. He won't go behind the back of a Robin Lehner, who you just don't really want to piss off. He'll put lineups out there regardless of their star power. Just because you traded what you did for Eichel doesn't mean he's going to be on your top line. Just because Pacioretty performed for you doesn't mean he won't be put on the third line if it worked. If I'm Vegas, that should be my next coach.
I mean, I'd like him there. I'd like him. There's a connection with Steve
Seattle,
Yzerman.
I'm kicking Dave Hackstall's ass to the curb. That trash bag of a coach and Colin Cassidy.
I mean, there's a connection with Steve Yzerman in Detroit with Bruce Cassidy. Right. So, I mean, there's an option, too. I mean...
No, they're going to make a stupid mistake, and it'll be the one we question where they hire Rick Tocchet.
Yeah. Well, Tox, I think. You know what? To me,
I wouldn't bet on that.
I think Tox to Philly is going to happen.
No, I can't wait. I can't wait for that.
That'll be worse. I'm not going to say it's going to be worse than Hackstall because I do still think Hackstall...
No, I will
It'll be a bigger dumpster fire than Hackstall.
You know what? It's either that or Dallas. I think those two places Tox could go.
Yeah.
Dallas would make more sense.
Right,
Dallas
exactly.
Would, but yeah, Philly will be a dump because I don't think Tox will handle Philly as a coach.
No. But yeah, I would agree with that. I think Vegas, I think that would be a good spot for him considering I think Barry Trotz may be going to Winnipeg.
I still think that's his spot. Like everybody's like Vegas is putting the all out on Trotz or whatever. I still think, man, Trotz ending his career.
I mean, you never know. Cassidy might decide to take the year off because he's still getting paid for another year.
Yeah.
That's also an option.
But if you're Cassidy, how often are you going to see a roster and a lineup like what Vegas has where you know you're a good enough coach to get this team on a run? Like certain situations that opened up. Even Dallas is a better situation than what him being the coach in Boston this upcoming year.
Well, yeah, I mean, he can manipulate that lineup to work wonders, and maybe
The
get
young
that,
talent Dallas has coming
Not
up.
to mention, he probably could get Sagan and Ben going again.
At least Sagan. I don't know about Ben. I think Ben.
Ben worries me with the foot speed.
Yeah, but I think he could get Sagan.
Yeah.
I think he gets Sagan, and with Ottinger and that defense, maybe they're able to keep Klingberg around. You never know.
And it's a team in Dallas that has that. They have like, yeah, they got Robertson as an RFA. He'll get a nice little bump, but you don't have to worry about paying a Raffle or Radulov or Nemestonikov, and you know what I mean. Like Dallas has the space to room. And like they got Jacob Peterson, who's still on an entry level deal. Like Dallas could be a really good fit for Cassidy too. But if I'm Vegas, I'm trying to get him in there. Like
I think I try to get him in there as well. But that's another situation where you have to look. You got to wonder how long Kelly McCrimmon's going to be there as the general manager too, because he's made some mistakes.
He shouldn't be there at all. But.
Right. George McPhee did a good job in the first year, but I think Kelly McCrimmon has not made this team better. I think he's made it worse with the acquisitions and bringing in guys and trying to give everybody money as much as possible. But it is a good fit for Cassidy. I could see it happening.
Yeah, what an absolute joke. Okay, I'm done talking about jokes. Actually, let's keep talking about jokes. The joke that is any team that thinks they have a chance against the Colorado Avalanche.
Dun, dun, dun.
Watching, I said it when the game was going on last night, and Edmonton blew their 3-goal lead, and Colorado tied the game at 4. And I'm sitting there going, you know what? I want Edmonton to get swept in the most embarrassing fashion possible like this because of the abomination they wear is that stupid jersey they decide to wear as their home jersey this year. And them losing a minute into overtime makes me so happy. Them getting swept makes me so happy.
Sweet. Yo, handshakes.
Get out of here. Like, man, though. Colorado, we talked about it last week. We didn't even make it a week when we talked about the series.
Damn.
The biggest thing last week that Jim and I talked about, Chris, like for me, was how would Darnell Nurse match up? Darnell Nurse looked as much of a pylon as he has all playoffs. And I get they came out with the hip flexor thing. Every player plays hurt. I hate hearing it used as like, oh, that's why I sucked. No, you sucked because you can't keep up with the stars. And
shit. Draisaitl averaged 2 points a game on one leg and one arm. I know it sounds like a bad trailer for a new Fugitive reboot, but still, I mean, it's what it was. And look,
yeah,
and Darnell Nurse isn't going to win anything anyway because look at who his uncle is.
Oh, true.
Boom shakalaka.
Boom.
But this is a team, Colorado. Like,
that wasn't fair.
God, everywhere you don't catch a break with them. Edmonton, you catch a break in the bottom 6. Colorado, you're thinking, oh, Kemper's out. Here comes Frankie. First game shutout. And then you're just like, well, crap. Here we go. And he just is like, yeah, he gave up goals, sure. But he still made the saves needed. Edmonton you weren't going to stop Edmonton from scoring completely when they have the 2, like Jim has said, it's on fullpresshockey.com. The best duo in hockey who have proven it. I mean, they're the top 2 point scorers.
With 30
by
points
far.
for each guy? Something like that? 30
Yeah,
points in the
McDavid,
playoffs?
65 combined.
65 combined points.
And they got swept in a round. They didn't play a full 7-game series in the last 2 rounds. They played 5 in the second, and they played 4 in the third. Like
2 points a game. That's why I joked. I made the tweet. Unless you get 2 points a game, you do not make this list.
No,
I mean, it's just like.
But to me, we said it last week, Mike. What did I say? I said, do you trust either Darcy Kemper or Mike Smith to come up with the big save?
And they did it.
we were talking about it. I had a friend text me. He's like, why does Edmonton have all this talent yet always seem to fall? And my response was because they think 40-year-old goaltenders are the answer in net. No, they don't have goaltending. Hell, if I'm Edmonton in the offseason, you go get Frankie from Colorado and he's a better run for you. Granted, it's a successful season for Edmonton. Good for them getting this far. But we all knew the writing was on the wall, man, for how this was going to go because their defense, not good, and their goaltending, you're better off playing empty net. And it proved.
Cardboard cutout time.
The garbage can's a better option.
The garbage can might,
the garbage can might stop some things.
How many times, Jim, you used to play against the garbage can?
Dude, the garbage can, man. The garbage can made some stops. He was the big time. He's the MVP every game. Sometimes he was making those big time saves. But all kidding aside, I mean, look, go back to last night. No, go back to Game 3. 2-2. Bouchard hits the post. Edmonton can't catch a break. Colorado caught every break in the series. They're on a power play, can't hit. Comfort comes out of the penalty box, and that puck has to be
Buffalo
stopped.
Sabres legend.
Yep. That puck has to be stopped. It squeaks through, and that's all she wrote. That's game, and it's pretty much series. I mean,
when it comes to Colorado, though, 5 players, mind you, they've had two. They've had 2.
For life.
They've played 14 games in the playoffs. 5 of their players have over a point per game.
That's ridiculous.
And then you got others who are hovering at 13 points. You have, 2 other players hovering at 13 points with Devin Taves in 14 games. But 5 other players are over a point per game.
And one of those guys, and then there was probably going to be a 6th guy if he didn't get hurt in Game 3.
Yep. Kadri.
Well, Kadri is over a point per game.
But he's hurt, so he's one of the guys that is hurt. He's hurt out of the 5 guys.
That just proves, and then you look down the line and you're like, okay, who doesn't have a point per game? Terry Lehkonen. Okay, he has 11 and 14. Oh,
and he only scored, and he only sent his team to the Stanley Cup Final for the 2nd year in a row.
Valeri Nichushkin, who we
3
talked
game-winning
about,
goals.
Yeah, Nichushkin, who we talked about, his big body being used. He played his role perfectly in that series, like we expected. Everything that we kind of talked about seemingly played out.
Yep.
And this Colorado team, and that's the problem, they are so stacked top to bottom. And we've talked all year, anything but a Stanley Cup is a bust, and they seem to play knowing it because they're just – St. Louis was the only chance to me. St. Louis was the chance because St. Louis had somewhat of a counter with how they played.
They had the perfect balance.
They're going in, no matter who they play in the Cup Finals, a team that's much more relatable to the way Nashville plays and to a way Edmonton plays than to the way the St. Louis Blues play. Like, they're going against another skilled team. And when you match speed and speed, I don't care. Colorado, even if it is Tampa Bay.
But the difference is, I will say this, the difference is the teams in the East know how to play defense. That's the difference. That's the difference. Both of these, the Rangers and the Lightning, know how to play defense. They're going to get in front of shots. They're going to block a lot more shots than Edmonton did, but that Nashville did, what St. Louis was doing. You could see it. But to me, Colorado is so dangerous. Think about this. Nazem Kadri leaves. Okay, we're just going to move Mikko Rantanen in the center and put Andre Burakovsky back in the lineup.
No problem. Machine still rolls on.
That's how deep they are. And it's a shame Kadri got hurt because he was having a great playoff in a contract year, and he wants to play in the Stanley Cup Final because he was.
And he still might.
But the fact of the matter is he was having a good postseason for this team, and this is exactly why they brought him in.
A great postseason. To me, he was playing, for the most part, Conn Smythe level. Yeah. If it wasn't
for Cale Makar,
Colorado should be the first
team for the other weapons.
Colorado should be the first team to have Conn Smythe.
Yeah, with McKinnon, Makar, all these guys.
The McConn Smythe. Just name it the McConn Smythe this year.
Oh, Jesus.
Everywhere, like, again, they're just so well balanced and stacked. And
Well, Chris would know this.
even Rantanen, you're like, oh, he's not scoring. He can't do anything. No, he just decided, I'm just going to rack up the assists.
Yeah, but doesn't he have goals in like 4 straight now, 5 straight?
Yeah, 5 goals, 12
he bounced right back.
He bounced right back.
It was ridiculous.
JT Compher 5 goals in 4 games.
5 goals in 4 games. I mean,
like, this guy's ridiculous. But Chris, I think you saw something similar that I did with in regards to Francouz and Colorado's defense. Colorado's defense is better with Francouz in between the pipes. Don't tell me why, but they played better defense in front of him.
And they played better in front of him before Kemper came. So I mean, people have to understand this, that there's that reality and the other thing too. And this Colorado team
and Francouz has unfinished business too, because he took over for Grubauer in the bubble.
Yep.
Yeah, and he had a shutout there too. His first start. Yeah.
Before he got hurt. So
then he got hurt.
Colorado is deep. They are strong. They are on a mission because they know that it's time. Like,
this is the year to win.
This is the year. This is their year to win. Like, they 100%, know it
all year. Man, what Claude Giroux choosing Florida over Colorado really panned out.
Typical Claude Giroux move.
Yeah, exactly.
But Colorado, they average over 40 shots a game.
Yep.
Their power play is over 30%.
Must be nice,
but it's
right?
not the bet. But it's not the best.
Yes, it is. As of now, it is at 31.1. The Blues are finished with 30.8. After last night, they're up.
Yeah, but I thought the Rangers had the best.
Rangers
power
are at 25.5.
So it came down. Well, that isn't that percentage though. But based on conversion rate, the Rangers are 31.4%.
Yeah, I don't care. I care about percentage. I don't care about. Get out of here.
Well, according to those covering the series, the Rangers have the best power play. So
well, according to one person on the show, the Rangers won't even have made it this far.
Yeah, Chris.
Hey, that's not my fault. It's
100. No, like I said last week.
And Louis Domingue.
You're welcome, Rangers fans. You guys are 2 wins away from the Cup final. If you make it there, I'll make a PO box just for this. And I will post it online for all of my fan mail and thank you and gratitude. I want Tim Hortons gift cards for my wife.
And you're going to get zip of it.
You're going to get zip.
No.
Because your coach of the year didn't even finish in second.
Because it's a bias because he's just too good. They just they assume he's going to be great.
How crazy is that one, though? I mean,
what he did.
I mean, look,
you and I went over it, so
it's one of those things where it's like coach has his faults, yada yada yada. But this system is screwed. When you look at some of the voting throughout these awards, and the different people that vote for it, just look at the quirks in not like 1 through 3, but start looking down the rabbit hole, and it's like
some of the people who vote should not have votes.
Yeah,
we can do a whole show on that. Some of the people who vote literally vote with a bias.
The lady
it's kind of like the people who vote for the Baseball Hall of Fame. There was one person who didn't vote for Derek Jeter because, well, he's going to get it anyway, so why would I use my vote? That's the freaking point. Make him
let him get a unanimous vote. Oh, well, no one's gotten unanimous vote ever. So, if he's the best player,
come on
the ballot.
I mean, even I would have voted for Derek Jeter, and I don't like his taste in gift baskets. So I mean,
biasness,
it's gonna get tougher.
Even Ken Griffey Jr. didn't. Only one person has ever got for baseball, and that was Mo Rivera. But
I know, which is
one person didn't vote for Derek Jeter. 3 people didn't vote unanimously for Ken Griffey Jr. Who to me is the best player of all time. The fact that we can go on and on and on. People didn't vote for Cal Ripken to get in. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, that's there's a lot of strange
sports award voters from the mainstream are idiots.
Yes,
because They think they're bigger than what they are. They have their agendas. They have their egos. They need to be hammered down a few pegs with a baseball bat to the legs, maybe a couple GTSs. I don't know.
Speaking of crazy hammers, Jim, we had it again last night.
That third period was incredible.
I would love to thank Caesars personally for throwing out really stupid odds boosts that hit ridiculously.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Check this out. Vladimir Guerrero hitting a home run and Connor McDavid scoring a goal. Okay, that was at 8-1 last night, Mike. Okay, here it gets better. They had one with McDavid, McKinnon, Draisaitl, multiple points.
Easy.
Easy.
It was Guerrero home run.
You put Draisaitl and McDavid multiple point odds.
I think it was something weird like the Blue Jays money line. You got 20-1.
Oh, yo, throw some money on that. Done.
Yeah, easy.
I did. I mean, I legitimately sat there and I turned a -6 unit night into a +12.5 unit night.
Yeah.
Just by making three bets.
We can spend a whole day whole shows talking about betting, which we might. Teaser, we might be launching one here.
I hope we
can't
do.
say anymore. But we're going to talk more about that. Also, 1 month from tonight, NHL draft live coverage here, Full Press Hockey. We're going to have a live show. It's going to be fun. The week before the NHL draft, guys, I'm telling you all these plans live as I've decided to confirm them. We will be doing a special mock draft episode of Full Press Hockey where we were going to go one by one. Every other pick is going to be like one of us will make the first, the second, the third, and just cycle that way. We're going to have a whole mock draft first round episode. It's going to be fun. We got a lot of plans coming up over the next month, but we do have one more game. And it's the last thing we're going to talk about today.
The game.
We're going to preview tonight's game. So if you are listening on demand, no, this game already happened. So either we are wizards or
you're not Chris Jericho. You're not Chris Jericho.
Shut your mouth.
Jericho.
I'm going to put a fireball in your face, and I can do it.
What are you, a wizard? What are you, a wizard?
I just want to get like a lighter. I wish I had a lighter here for that.
What are you, a wizard?
You're a wizard, Harry. I'm a what? You're a unit of power, Harry. Rangers, Lightning. This series has been fantastic. The Lightning have dominated expected goals, offensive opportunities. Igor Shesterkin has looked like prime Dominic Hasek in this series and for pretty much the whole playoffs. But the Lightning can't get out of their own damn way, like we talked about previewing the series, because they can't stay out of the penalty box. And if the Lightning stay out of the penalty box, we're probably looking at a 3-0 Lightning series right now. But we're not, because the whole game needs to be played. And the Rangers special teams is tenfold better than the Lightning special teams. And it's kind of how
some team woke up in game 3. I'm just saying.
I don't want to say they woke up, sure, but it still took them until the last minute of regulation to actually.
True.
It did.
True too.
I mean, there was 4 combined power play goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, and 3 of them in the second period. So you have to keep that in mind. And also the fact that as long as Chris Rooney does not officiate again in this series, Tampa Bay is winning.
Right.
You do know this, right?
Yeah.
I do. The only problem is, unfortunately for Tampa, Rooney is.
Right.
So.
But to me, Tampa found their game. They started to find their legs towards the end of game 2. I thought they played a good first half in game 1. I thought they missed on opportunities. It was just timing because they hadn't played, because they had a bunch of 2-on-1s on Shesterkin. Pucks just didn't go in. They just missed
bouncing
and everything. But they started to find their game. They're starting to play better defense. You know, we always talk about odd games determining a series. I think tonight's game, game 4 of this series determines who wins this series.
Yep.
I can agree with that. So it's funny you bring that up. I was listening to NHL radio earlier, and that question was posed. Does the winner of tonight's game win the series? And both said no. And I immediately thought, no, it's 100% who wins this game wins the series. If the Rangers go up 3-1 heading back home, they're not losing 2 games at home at all. If the Lightning tie this series at 2-2, they could easily win 1 game at MSG.
Here's the
Or
problem.
they can win the next two games and it's over.
Yeah,
Well,
nobody really knows,
but that's why I'm saying, like, the winner of this game, I still think wins the series, because the Rangers wouldn't win the game. They're up 3-1. They're not losing 2 games at home, which is what Tampa Bay would have to do to come back. If Tampa wins, they could easily win at least one of those games in MSG.
Madison Square. Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't think Tampa loses at home if they win tonight. So, like, it's one of those things. Yeah, I'm in the mindset of who wins tonight wins the series.
Guess who is the last goaltender to win in the Eastern Conference Finals or later twice on the road after Game 4?
Vasilevsky?
Yep. Now name the year.
20. Does the bubble count?
No, you can't use the bubble for this one. It was before.
Right.
It was pre-bubble. Mike's really close. It was 2015. Guess who it was against, guys?
The Rangers.
Yup. So if you do not think it would happen, now here's the thing, though.
The Rangers also have a much better goalie this time around. I hate to say it.
Oh, don't do that to Ranger fans.
Year.
Don't do that to Ranger fans. They will.
Shesterkin this year is playing better than any year Lundqvist ever played.
Now that's absolutely true. Now here's the thing. Damn it! I knew it was going to happen once.
But the question for me is you mentioned Lundqvist and you mentioned Shesterkin. I think the Rangers are getting in a little bit of a habit of relying too much on their power play and relying too much on Ilya Shesterkin. Can he continue to keep this pace with the way the Lightning are peppering him all the time? I think is going to be a question for me and something I'm watching in Game 4 because, they're going to continue to just pepper him and get chances. And at some point, he might break again.
You don't know.
I don't.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. But if you rely on him too much, it like the Rangers did in the past. It's a tough road to go down.
This is something that the Rangers have been doing, since the early days of Lundqvist. So this isn't like
it's normal.
This is normal for them, which may actually serve them better because they do kind of know what happened previously.
Right.
Here's a question. Yeah, we know the Rangers made it to the final in 2012.
No, 2014, buddy.
2014.
Get it right.
Whatever.
Yeah. Hey, Henry,
get
it's
it right.
Over.
Get it right.
It was the Devils that got destroyed by the Kings.
They both got destroyed by the Kings.
I know. The Devils did it first. Hipsters. The Devils were the hipster of losing to the Kings, I guess.
Actually, they really didn't get destroyed. There were 2 games they got blown out. That was about it.
And one where our top player got sat on while they scored twice.
Well, why was he underneath? Just saying. Anyway,
I don't know.
Is it safe to say though, this Rangers team and Shesterkin has a better team in front of him this year than Lundqvist ever did?
Man, that's a tough one.
That's a tough question.
But you know what?
It's hard. I know recency bias is a thing, but it's really hard for me to say no.
If we're being honest with all of ourselves here, that answer is probably right now, yes.
Yeah, I get
probably the best
bias, but I can't see. Like, you look at Fox. Keandre Miller has looked really good this series. Like we talked, he needed to show up, and he has for the most part. But it's Panarin, Zibanejad, Kopp. Like, this team, the kids line has been fantastic. Like, this team in front of Shesterkin is just. You look back, like they had Nash at times. They had
Kreider, I think, was actually still there.
Yeah,
Kreider was still there.
But you got Kreider here in otherworldly levels.
But Kreider has not morphed into his 10th year Calder Trophy winning self.
Yeah.
Hey, it's always going to be there.
Who else? I'm trying to think who else was on that Cup Final. Oh, McDonough, I think, was on that team, right?
Yeah.
Before he got traded. Oh, no. Was he a part of the St. Louis deal? No.
Oh. Oof. That's an interesting one. But,
but Callahan, in that Cup year, they had Callahan, Broussard, Carcillo, Del Zotto, Dorsett. Like, they didn't have this JT Miller. Yeah, they did have Ryan McDonough.
McDonough was there. Yeah.
Taylor Pyatt. They didn't have, though. Like, they had Nash. St. Louis, Mark Stahl, Derek Stepan. But they didn't I still think I'd put today's Rangers over any team Lundqvist had in front of them.
I think that's fair to say. I mean, recency
That is
bias
fair.
aside, I think that is fair.
So it's
but-
why it feels different with the Rangers this time around.
Yeah, but
A little
if Tampa could get into a box more on their PK and take away that east-west pass, that Ranger power play is going to have to come up with something different than just a one-timer from Zibanejad from the circle.
Well, you know what? As they say, we're going to find out soon enough.
Yeah, we're going to find out soon enough because that's the one adjustment. If I'm Cooper, I'm looking at on film. Could that continuous east-west pass that is just eating up that Lightning system because it's clear as day what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean it's being telegraphed. Oh, by the way, the Devils did just win something.
Yeah, King Clancy, PK Subban.
Oh,
Yeah, at least
apparently.
won something.
I mean, are we surprised by that? I mean, I'm not trying to
nobody
say,
should.
like,
Look,
Everybody's set in Buffalo that Subban's coming here, and I'm just like, give me Letang, please.
you know what? I think he should just go to TV. He's so good there. He might as well.
He's
So good. But someone will pay him like $3 million.
Here we go. Here you go. You get like Subban, Snyder, and one other person. You just have like a whole entire TV crew of like former Devils and just go with it. They're naturals.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but some magic. Maybe toss Salvador in since he's never going to become a coach in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, it could.
The Devils are on
great
TV
names,
as
so.
it is anyway. Mike Rupp, Danico, all them guys.
It's the Devils will get to the Cup Final anytime soon.
Pretty much. Shoot, the closest I'm ever going to get to watch MSG is I don't know what year.
Right.
Never.
Never going to happen.
As we get ready to wrap up, if you are goaltending aside, because I'm still calling goaltending right now a wash or push, what for the rest of the series is going to be the biggest key to a team's success?
Special teams. I'm coming out right now. The power play for each team. Whoever can get their penalty kill down pat better is going to win.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple. Tampa's power play is starting to get rolling again, and the Ranger power play is really good right now. And if Tampa can shut that down, the Rangers are going to have to start scoring some goals 5-on-5.
Yep.
Which they have proven they can do.
They can do it.
They can do it, but Tampa's defense is starting to get, and their team is starting to find their legs again. And Vasilevsky's starting to find his form again.
That's never good.
No.
Now, naturally, since Jim took special teams, I have to take the other elephant in the room. The key in this series may just be Braden Point. If he plays, it's a big if.
If it gets to Game 6, I heard it on the radio. Mike Johnson said it. I'm kind of starting to believe it. I think that's when he comes back.
Yeah,
I really
more
do.
like for motivation or energy as opposed to being any sort of relevant.
He might play on the power play, and
that's probably where you got to put him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's it. You're not putting him out there for full shifts.
No, you can't.
But you know what? Stamkos came back for one shift to score a goal, and that's all she wrote.
Sheesh, that's still one of the crazier moments I've ever seen. In the last decade, that has to be
one shift, one goal. Yeah. That was it.
And that was some move too. I mean, that was
a heck of a shot too. Under the bar.
Jesus, bar down.
That was it.
Well, guys, this is going to be some Game 4. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. It's going to be.
It's the only game in town.
That's it right now. It's the only game in town.
And it's getting ready to start. So that's where we're going to leave you here as we wrap up this week's edition of Full Press Hockey Weekly. We'll be back next Tuesday, same time, same place, live on twitch.tv and youtube.com/Full Press Coverage. Hello, Kyle. Goodbye, Kyle.
Bye, Kyle.
Bye, Kyle.
Watch the show from the start. We'll be back for the rest. We will be back at our 8 o'clock time once the season ends, but during the rest of the playoffs, we'll be here Tuesday night, 7 p.m. because we do not want to conflict with the starts of games should they be on that day. And the way NHL goes,
though, apparently the Stanley Cup Final does not start till June 18th. So
there's no way if the series ends by Thursday, they're waiting 9 days to start the series.
June 15th is the other day.
Yeah, so hopefully they get to June 15th.
Yeah, there's no way that they'd give themselves 9. That would be really dumb from a kind of interest, especially with how the ratings have been.
Exactly.
The NHL, there's no way you could do that.
And by the way, NHL, take pointers. If your afternoon game on Sunday was on ABC, that number would have been a lot better. Just saying.
Yeah, you got to have that on ABC.
Just saying.
100%. But until next time, guys, you can find Jim at Jim Behringer, Chris at Chris Wassel DFS, myself at Mike Star Media. Follow FPH at Full Press NHL on Twitter. Until next time, we're out.